Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the NBA Front Office Show. It's Friday. You know what that means.
Front Office Friday! Trade season starts next week edition.
Let's go. Trade season starts next week, December 15th, the unofficial start of trade season around the NBA. Mega Man. That's right.
Did you see they're making a new Mega Man game? Yeah, I think it's a game. It's either a game or a TV show or both. I didn't really follow or fully read the thing, but yeah. But Mega Man is coming back.
Huh. Okay. Well, that's good. That game was frustratingly challenging. I found the original Nintendo Mega Man game.
It was cool how when you beat a bad guy, like you got his powers.
Right.
Like that was a lot of fun.
That was a cool concept. I always had a hard time like figuring out which one you need to go after first. Now, of course, I'm sure there's guides and everything to tell you the exact order you need to go in and all of that.
That's cheating.
What, using a guide? You never read like remember back in the day there was like Game Pro?
Oh yeah,
and Electronic Gaming Monthly and all that.
I didn't say didn't do it.
Okay. You called it cheating. I'm like,
I mean, it is cheating, but I still did it.
Wait, I think there's a difference between using like a Game Shark to actually like break the game.
Yeah, for sure. And how many people in the chat know Game Shark?
On like, hey, here's some hints and tips and stuff.
How many people you think know the Game Shark in the chat? Shout it out if you know Game Shark.
Probably not many.
We had one of those though. My aunt bought it for me, I think, 1 year for Christmas.
It wound up being kind of buggy, as I recall.
Because it wasn't great.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't.
Hey, that's not nice. Of course, the Celtics fan is okay with cheating. Come on, now. That was rude. Uncalled for.
I remember, like, I liked it better when it was just like you enter the Konami code or whatever to start the beginning game.
Down, left, right, BA, select.
Let's go. All right. Well, now that we're meandering down this trip down memory lane here, let's get into some of our questions and comments. Do you guys think the top 5 of the West is set with everyone having a 2-game lead above the 6th seed? I think it's too early for anything to be set right now.
Let me look. I don't.
Here, I'll put it up on screen.
I don't promise to be that up on it. But I mean, I think top 1 is set.
Yeah, top 1, but top 5, basically the cutoff at the San Antonio Spurs. No, because I look at the Wolves and say they can't get into the mix.
Yeah. Minnesota last year started slower and then closed really strong. So yeah, I mean, 2 games is nothing at this point of the year.
Right.
I would say if you wanted to say the top 6 is set-ish, and it'll be in some order, 2 through 6, that I could probably get there with. I don't want to degrade Phoenix at all or even Golden State, but yeah, top 8 I feel pretty confident are going to be there.
A lot of basketball left to be played, so no, I wouldn't I'm just reading some of these comments.
Yeah. It's funny. You just pulled a me. You got lost.
I got lost in what we were doing here. Of course, Trevor used a game. It's more people getting upset about our video game thoughts than anything.
I mean, if there's not going to ask basketball questions, we'll do something. So, I will say I like to. So I love the Final Fantasy games, and after I've played through one once, then I will go back and play through using the guide to try to get all the stuff I missed.
It's been a while since I've really been into a video game, a long time. It's been a long time.
My older roommate used to hate. I used to. This was like GTA 2 or 3, maybe. I don't know. It was a very old version. I mean, this was over 20 years ago. I used to use the make yourself invincible and give yourself every weapon and then just run around causing havoc. So yeah. Well, yeah. Did you have a Game Genie, Game Shark?
Game Genie, it was basically the same thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Those games are 60 hours long. They are 60 hours long. I start one every summer, when basketball ends, and then I never finish going all the way.
You always think you're going to get way into it and stuff like that. Yeah. All right, let's go here. Can the Warriors get Myles Turner? Maybe. I mean,
yeah.
if he's legit available, which by the way, I think for Myles Turner to be available, we would have to be in a scenario where the Bucks do go ahead and move on from Anthony Davis, or from
Giannis.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. I accidentally pulled up the Mavs sheet here. Unless it didn't change, I thought I had. No, I am on Bucks. It just didn't change yet. Come on.
We're doing some server work.
That's what's going on. Anyway, the Bucks would have to move on from Myles Turner, from Giannis Antetokounmpo. See, now I'm all mixed up on Giannis Antetokounmpo, for them to then move on from Myles Turner.
Yeah, it's they're like they can. The challenge is for the Warriors to get there. Myles Turner makes $25.3 million this year. So if I pull up the Warriors cap sheet, it's going to take them quite a bit to get there because presumably, right, you're not trading Butler, Curry, Draymond Green. So now you're talking, well, I guess Kuminga could get you there if they wanted to go that direction.
Yeah, I mean, there was some stuff from Sam Amick today about the Warriors having interest in Trey Murphy, which is not a surprise. I mean, it's what we've heard for a while now, and they would ultimately, I think, like to turn Kuminga into Trey Murphy. I don't know how likely that is, but in lieu of something like that being available, like, it's pretty clear Kuminga isn't working with Golden State. It's not, he got the DNP coach's decision. He's not the piece that they want. Might the Warriors just say, you know what, we'd rather turn him into Myles Turner than nothing, right? Than just keep him on the team and it's not working. So I think the Warriors would explore other options first and prioritize. If you can get Trey Murphy, I'd target Trey Murphy ahead of Myles Turner, but that wouldn't be the worst outcome for Golden State if you could turn Jonathan Kuminga ultimately into Turner.
Yeah, I mean, I think Myles Turner fits with the Warriors quite well. It offers rim protection and floor spacing, and that should be pretty good. So yeah, I think that would be good there. I pulled this one as Myles January, December trade eligible December. So any free agent who changed teams before September 15th is trade eligible on December 15th. If you change teams after December 15th, it's 3 months for a free agent signing. So December 15th, so a few more days. And then Myles Turner's eligible. I'll just use this as a segue because this I get asked this regularly. If you go on SpotTrack's trade machine, you can turn the restrictions off. I don't recommend turning them off fully because that turns like all the trade restrictions off, not the trade rules, but the restrictions. But I would just flip it to trade deadline mode. Because if you flip it to trade deadline mode, all the guys that are like December 15th restrictions and like those will all get turned off.
That makes sense, and that's a nice feature to have. And if anybody has any questions on when is a certain player trade eligible, all you do over on SpotTrack is you just hover the cursor right here and right next to the name. And I don't know what you call this icon, the lock icon, I suppose.
I have no idea what they call it.
But. And that'll tell you when they become trade eligible. You see all these. So December 15th, up, Ryan Rollins. That's a January 15th, right?
Yeah, and the difference between those is December 15th is if you signed as a free agent, that triggers that December 15th restriction. If you re-signed using bird rights and got more than a 20% raise over your prior contract, that triggers a January 15th.
$4 million is more than a 20% raise for Ryan Rollins.
Yeah, because he was a minimum guy.
That's right.
Yeah,
man,
he was a minimum guy converted off a two-way.
See, that's a salary where at initial glance I was like, oh, he probably doesn't hit that number, but yeah, if he was on a minimum, that would do it.
Yep.
That's good. That's a hell of a deal for the Bucks.
Big time.
He's been playing really well.
Big time. Yeah, he had $12 million total. I mean, at this point, he'll definitely opt out in 2 years, but yeah, I mean, that's one of the better value contracts in the entire league.
All right, let's go here. If you're Detroit, would you send 2 firsts to absorb Herb Jones into the trade exception?
Yeah, kind of a fun wrinkle with Herb Jones. His is a little weird because he extended on July 14th. So he's actually January 14th is his trade eligible date, but his contract does just fit inside the non-taxpayer MLE, which the Pistons don't have that, but the Pistons have a trade exception exactly the size of that because they traded Dennis Schroeder in a sign and trade where they didn't take any money back, and that created it. So, is it still stuck?
Yep. There it goes.
Yeah.
It's just taken like 20 seconds to jump over to the new team.
Not sure what's going on. Scott's probably watching. He'll fix it.
Yeah.
But it's so Herb Jones, fits in there. 2 firsts for the Pistons, maybe. I mean, let me pull up real quick. I'm sorry to turn my head, guys. I'm gonna get a better. And Scott just messaged me and said server issues.
Server. Okay,
there it is.
So I guess as you're looking that up, when I think about this, 2 firsts, if you're Detroit, you're at the top of the East right now, so you have to factor that in. If the firsts are what you're projecting to be, 29th, 28th, something like that, when we talk about where the pick's actually going to fall, that's where we talk about not all firsts are created equal. A first from the Pistons right now that's going to be 28th is not the same as a first. But let's say the Warriors wanted Herb Jones, and I don't know what their pick status is for this year off the top of my head, but let's say the Warriors wanted to trade their pick. Okay, at least the Warriors right now, we're probably talking about a pick either low 20s or late teens or something. So there's a difference between that Warriors first and even 2 firsts from the Pistons right now because of where the Pistons are in the standings.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. But I looked it up. The Pistons have all of their own first. They don't have any extras. But having all of their own, I think I would do that for Detroit.
Yeah.
Because of what you said. This year's should not be very good. It's going to be in the late 20s most likely. And then you're hoping, even if you did this year and then 2 years from now, I would, if I was the Pistons, I would avoid doing it down the line. Because I expect to be pretty good for at least the next few years. So I would do like the 2026 and the 2028. Maybe you try to throw lottery protection on that second one just in case everything goes sideways on you. But yeah, I think I would do that. But I'm also very high on Herb Jones.
All right, let's go here. What's your favorite Final Fantasy, Keith?
It's either, so it depends on how you number it. It's either 3 or 6 if you go off the US numbering or the Japanese full. It's the one where there's like 20 different playable characters and there's all these different storylines. And I think it was the last one for came out on Super Nintendo. I like that one, and then I like 9 is the other one. And a lot of people aren't super big on 9, but I think 9's really fun. 9 was the last like cartoony one that they did. Then it got a little more real after that. I mean, it's real.
And now I never got into Final Fantasy, but my understanding is Kingdom Hearts was an RPG as well. That was kind of like that. Yeah, Disney. Did you get into that?
Yeah, a little bit. I played the first one. One of my best friends is he is obsessed with that game to the point where I hope he watches this because he'll text me. He almost lost his job because he was calling in sick to try to beat it with his roommate back in the day. So yeah,
he's calling in sick. What is your friend Kyler Murray and it's Call of Duty or something? Is that
it wasn't great. So yeah,
Cardinals, or I think it was earlier this year. Cardinals fans were like, Kyler is out today, and somehow, and this is when the new Call of Duty came out. They're like, we know what's going on. That was your friend with Kingdom Hearts. That's funny.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, hold that one. We'll come right back to it. I want to just go here just because it's a good question. Why would the Pelicans trade Herb Jones? Yeah, I mean, they probably shouldn't unless they're like, hey, we want to just recoup some value for a guy that we don't think is part of it. I personally, Trey Murphy and Herb Jones, I would just keep if I'm New Orleans, unless I'm completely blown away with an offer. Like if Detroit said, here's 3 or 4 first-round picks for Herb Jones, then I'd be like, all right, done. Like that's just too much value to say no to. But I would just keep Murphy and Jones because I think they're both young enough to be a part of whatever you're going to grow into with Queen and Fears as like your 2 lead guys in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think they should feel like they have to move either one of them. There's going to be plenty of interest in those guys. That doesn't mean they have to move them. Let's go. Okay, let's go here. Is Memphis actually going to try to tank, or is being relocated too much of a concern? I don't know that being relocated would be the reason to not tank.
Not a concern at all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's something that you have to factor into a degree, like, hey, if we really want to stay, we need to make sure the team's good. But like, I don't think that's the driving force there. Now, the news they got yesterday, Zach Edey has played so well this season. He's been such an impact player. Now he's going to be out for at least a month, not getting reevaluated for 4 weeks. Absolutely brutal. But you look at where Memphis is at right now. They're the 9 seed in the West. No, they're below 500, but they're a play-in team right now. They're a game and a half out of being a 7 or 8 seed, which is obviously a big difference when you're a play-in team, because that's a double elimination situation if you're a 7 or 8 seed. So they're only a game and a half back from that. Like, if I'm Memphis, I'm not bottoming this thing out, especially, Keith, it does seem like they have smoothed some things over with John Morant, and maybe there's a little bit of optimism moving forward with that relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. And it sounds like he's going to be back maybe as soon as today. I don't know where that stands. I've not seen the updated injury reports, but he's getting close. At the very least, it's just a bummer. Like you said, now Zach Edey's out. So now we're dealing with Zach Edey being sidelined while John Morant returns. So you were still not, again, going to get the full Grizzlies, right? We're not going to get a real look at what these guys are. But yeah, I don't think they're going to tank unless like another injury comes that just makes it too much. Eventually you cross the point of no return, right? Where it's like, now there's too many guys who hurt. It's what does he say in Ace Ventura? 3 arrows is too much. Right. So it's like, that's like where it goes. It's or 3 darts, I think, or whatever it is.
That's right.
Bumblebee tuna.
Bumblebee tuna.
This is a fantastic show. People are like, isn't trade season starting? What happened to this? Basketball show.
We're having a good time here, everybody.
We are
having a good time.
If it was like Friday night, people were like, did these guys get into the eggnog early? What happened?
They went out, had a few drinks, then did the show. That's what's going on here.
That'd be an interesting show. But yeah, I think they have enough talent to hang around where they are. At least especially with the way they're playing now. And a lot will become his job bought in, right? His jaw going to run with this as well. Now, the other thing I'll say for these guys, as far as the relocation, no chance they're getting relocated. When Robert Pera bought out the other owners, the whole deal there was, we're staying. The only way that'll come up is if building stuff comes up where it's like, the arena is garbage and we just can't get there. But they're going to be in Memphis long term. The NBA does not want to relocate teams. It's
just negativity.
It's just bad all around. They would much rather expand than relocate.
And we don't know where expansion, whether it's going to happen or not, but we'll see. Hey, Keith, can you explain Keon Ellis's extension eligibility by July 1st before becoming a unrestricted free agent if traded before December 30th? Do you expect him to be dealt this month? And if so, where? So what is the situation with Keon Ellis? Could a team that gets him then extend him, or are they, or how would that whole situation play out?
Yeah, let's just talk the eligibility part of it. So any player that is extension eligible that's on an expiring contract, which Ellis is, because the Kings they chose not to make him restricted. So they picked up his option, his contract when it expires. He'll be a free agent this summer. As long as he's extension eligible, which he is, that runs through June 30th. So if I'm a team and I acquire him at the deadline, he's probably referencing, because I wrote about this on Spot Track. If Keon Ellis is acquired after December 30th, then the team is bound to extend him within the extended trade rules, which means at most he can get a 20% extension off of his current number, which is very low. We just kind of covered that with Ryan Rollins. So that'd be almost no bump.
So what is that? Are you talking about 140%?
Yeah. And then you can only add a couple years onto it too. So it's just way too low. It would never happen. So if you get him, once you're 6 months out from acquiring Keon Ellis, you could then extend him using the full extension, which would allow him to get 140% of the average player salary, which starts around $19 million. I'm not saying he's going to get 19 million, but somewhere between the MLE-ish amount and that, it feels about right for Keon Ellis. For me, I'm a huge Keon Ellis guy.
Me too.
So that's why you'd be trying to acquire him sooner rather than later. So that, because otherwise you just can't extend him for enough. And at that point, it becomes, you're Keon Ellis. All right, I'm just going to take this thing to free agency this summer, and it's unrestricted free agency, which is tough. Do I expect him to be dealt? I don't know. I mean, it's the Kings. Like, should they trade him? Yeah, I mean, especially if they're not going to play him. I just went on Sacramento radio with Alan Stiles. I know you've done the show there too. And like, I basically like, and then it got a lot of play in Sacramento because I ripped them for like, what do you do? This guy, only good things happen when he plays, but he never gets the chance to play. Like he's like,
he was a DNP one game.
He's like the fourth or fifth wing in a rotation where they're using like 3 wings. And that's just, to me, is ridiculous. He's a really solid defender, 1 through 3. He's become a very good, reliable shooter. So yeah, I would not, I think it's just, gotten stupid with this.
So Keon Ellis is somebody that is going to be, because of his skill set, in high demand around the NBA. I think I've said this a bunch for the last year, that the Kings need more Keon Ellis's, not less. And they need less, score first, second, third, pass fourth guys. And that's what they primarily have. That said, you're absolutely right. If they're not going to play him, and there's this much, and look, maybe the Kings are right in their evaluation of him. Maybe they are better without him. Right now, you dig into his advanced metrics, he is a minus 1.1 per 100 possessions when he's on the floor for Sacramento so far. It's not like he's a plus 10 or something like that. Who knows? Maybe we're wrong and the Kings are right. But if that's the case, and there's this much interest in him around the NBA, okay, then trade him, right? Otherwise, if you're saying, hey, we're going to use this guy, then by all means, use him, play him. I think they need more players of his style, of his caliber, and his play style. But if not, there's enough interest where you might as well, if you say, hey, there is a disagreement in how we view him and value him compared to how the rest of the NBA values him, then take advantage of that and move him and get what you can.
100%. Yeah. If you're not going to play him, this is going to drive, if I'm Keon Ellis too, is like, why am I going to re-sign here? If like obviously this is where the coaching staff sees me. And I've heard some people say, well, they're just trying to keep his value down. Well, that's ridiculous. Like, that's just not how this works.
That's so, like, I've seen people make that claim before with other players, right? That a team is not going to play a guy so they can keep their value down. That's so, I think people don't understand what a team is risking in that scenario, right? Because that is so dangerous for a team to do. If word gets out that that's the kind of stuff that you're doing, players are going to shun you in free agency. Players are not going to trust you. That will not be fostering a positive relationship with the players. And the word will get out very, very quickly. Players will talk about it. Everybody will see what's going on. Teams are risking a lot if they on purpose are sitting a player that's really good solely to depress that player's value.
Yeah, absolutely. It is not where you want to be. You do not want to get that reputation. So yeah, it's and then the contract is so small, anybody can acquire him. So that's the other thing. Like, if I was the Kings, I would really be, in a spot where I would just be very open to moving him, because it just doesn't seem like they're going to play him. I'm just going to pull this one just because this is just kind of made me chuckle. Rui and Connect for Monk and Ellis in a first. Why would the Lakers get the first there? That's insane. Like, stop.
For absorbing Monk. I'm not saying they should, but absorbing the long-term salary of Monk is really the only thing I can come up with, because that's an expiring
contract.
That's
not even a bad contract.
No, I don't think it's a bad contract. I don't think his skill set is in demand right now. Like, Keon Ellis is in more demand than Malik Monk, and that's, even throwing out the contracts just because teams are looking for that skill set. But yeah, I don't. Also, conceptually, the Kings should not be in the business of giving away draft picks right now. They should be trying to add draft picks, not trading them away in order to add other pieces to their roster right now.
Yep, absolutely not.
Okay,
I flagged a bunch of stuff So
Yeah,
we
let's
could have
start.
a whole
We'll start
lot.
running through them. Other than Herb, Jones, and Wiggins, who's a realistic 3-and-D wing on the market?
I assume this is a Lakers question.
Probably, but it doesn't matter. 30 teams are looking for 3-and-D wings right now.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge for anybody looking for that. And that's why is Keon Ellis in such high demand? Because everyone, you ask the Thunder, who have just or overflowing in defensive perimeter guys, and they're going to say, "Oh, we'd love to get more wing help."
Yeah.
You know, I mean, every team in the NBA is looking for those players right now.
Yeah, but all right, we'll answer the question. I'm very much doing this very quickly off the top of my head. Matisse Thybulle, I think, would be pretty available. Let's see what the Bucks do. The Bucks have a couple guys that kind of fit that mold, like Gary Trent Jr., maybe Gary Harris. They're a little smaller than more guard.
Sadiq Bey maybe is interesting.
Yeah, Sadiq Bey could be. Yeah,
Jones.
for sure. I'm just kind of zipping.
Depending on what Miami wants to do, Andrew Wiggins has been a name that's been out there. They
well,
may
he
just
had
wind up keeping
Wiggins
him,
in
but
his question.
he did. Herb Jones and Wiggins. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't really fit this, but like Chris Middleton's very available. Just strictly a wing. You're not getting a whole lot of 3-and-D there. Somebody like Chris Dunn, maybe, if the Clippers continue.
Yeah. The Clippers don't even want to talk about it.
No. Yeah, I don't. I mean, they're whatever.
Klay Thompson is available. Now we can talk about the defense, you know,
Najee Marshall,
but just being a wing. Najee Marshall, yep.
Caleb Martin. That's now we're like, once you start getting to the ones where I'm kind of like, yeah, maybe, like, then it's time to move on. So let's go to the next one.
All right, let's go here.
Kuzma is not really a wing. That's the only problem.
What is this? Finally, the best duo show in all YouTube. Trev, please get off the collective show. Really? I have got this might be the first negative thing that I've heard about Lakers Collective. I have had so many compliments.
A couple episodes, and I thought you guys are doing a good job.
Yeah, I thought that was.
I wish you'd talk about the show. Different content.
Well, it's Lakers Collective. I mean, Buha and the other dude are in non-reality. Certain B reporters are noted to say Austin. Oh, I figured it out. He doesn't like Austin Reeves. That's what this comment is about. He doesn't like Austin Reeves.
Wait, Austin Reeves is better than Tatum and Iverson ever was?
That's an exaggeration. No one has ever said that.
Okay. I was gonna say, I mean, now we're gonna get in
what I find is that when people, especially today, and we're seeing this more and more and more on a societal level, that when people hear things that doesn't align with exactly what they think, they get very dismissive of that and very much like not willing to accept any other points of view, particularly when it comes to, especially we see it with players in sports. If you are all in on player X is good or player X is bad, anyone who says anything at any point that doesn't align with this player is the worst player of all time and needs to be fired into the sun, that take is, or that conversation is invalid. It's null and void, and the person having that conversation is the biggest idiot on the planet. And that's just, I think, the unfortunate hot take culture kind of coming into play. We do tend to be more measured. And so if you're coming on that show, if you're coming on this show, if you're coming on Lakers Nation, we're not throwing out a bunch of hot takes. And so if you're coming on there expecting to hear this guy is the worst thing that has ever happened, you know, the hyperbolic, turn the volume way up stuff, we're not going to do that. So you may not hear that we hate a player as much as you hate a player, or we like a player as much as you like a player, because we're going to talk about both the good and the bad of a player.
Yeah, and it can be like, it's interesting writing for a team specific site or doing a team specific podcast can be really hard. I know it doesn't seem like it, but what can be really hard within a fan base is you have a chunk of the fan base who wants you to be like very, like, just put on your purple and yellow glasses and be Lakers, Lakers, Lakers. Everything's great, right? Because that's what a chunk of the fan base wants. Then you have a chunk of the fan base that is like, hey, be critical of this. Like, be critical of this guy. Why don't you? Yeah, right. Like, so you get these kind of things.
Like,
right?
why don't you yell about JJ Redick more or something? Because I give people and Keith, you do the same thing. We just give our honest opinions on stuff. I generally think JJ Redick has been good. Can we criticize the lack of using Jared Vanderbilt in games where you're struggling defensively? Sure. And we've talked about that. but that doesn't mean that, I need to hold JJ to task and why don't you play? You should play this guy more and all of that. Like, I think we do. I think, Keith, we generally try to take a big picture approach to things, and that oftentimes leads to situations where we're not going to be, calling out a player or a team or something. There's people who do that. There's people who've made a living doing that. There's people who have made a living by hating LeBron James, and they've made that their central platform.
Skip Bayless.
Yeah. And it's worked out well, but that's just not the way we approach sports.
Yeah. Well, and my thing is, like, I'll say this, so you don't need to even comment on it. You as an individual, I know, do not get like so much access to the team that you are not saying things because you're trying to protect access.
Yes.
Like I can, everybody like who thinks that's the case. Are there people who do that? 100%. There are people who become the team's mouthpiece in the media, right? Like but I know that's not your case. So, but anyway, this was a good call out on the 3-and-D wing. DeAndre Hunter. Yeah. If the Cavs can't figure it out, he's absolutely could be a casualty. Also, Jalen Tyson has played pretty well despite the team not playing well. And that could give them all right, hey, we're ready. And if Max Strus is ready to come back, and then Sam Merrill, like all of a sudden it's like, we might have enough at this spot where we don't, like, this could be a way to start getting our tax bill line. Because he's right. I mean, they are very much a mid team right now. They're not very good, and they are the most expensive team in the league this year.
Maybe one of the under discussed surprises in the NBA right now is the Cavs. I thought they would be much better than what they are so far this year.
Completely agree. Yeah. I mean, we're all in on the Clippers, right? Because like they stink. But like, the Cavs are nowhere near where we thought they would be.
All right, let's go here. Nico messed up the trade landscape for megastars. There's fan bases out there. I think they can get Giannis for a couple good players and 2 firsts.
I don't think that's, I mean, for fans, maybe. But I think even most fans are understanding that trade was a whole other thing.
Well, so this has been a thing for as long as sports have existed in terms of fans want to make a trade where their team wins the trade, right? Like that's the way that goes. Sure. I can remember vividly back in the day when there were conversations about could the Lakers trade Coby, and going back and forth with Mavs fans who were saying, oh, no, we want Coby, but Nowitzki's off limits. You can have other pieces, but you cannot have Dirk. And Lakers fans saying, well, no Dirk, no deal. You would have to put Dirk in it, right? And that was the early 2000s that we were going back and forth on that stuff. This has been a thing for as long as we can remember. So are you going to have Spurs fans that are going to say, oh, no. You can't have Castle. You can't have Harper. You can't have any of our good stuff, but I guess we'll take Giannis if you give him to us for Harrison Barnes and a couple of picks or something. That is the way fans are going to approach the trade front. That said, I think there's another element to this, Keith, that's important. And that's that under our, I don't want to call it new anymore, but under the collective bargaining agreement, the apron system that we've got, I think you can argue that draft capital has become more valuable, particularly as teams, in order to avoid the aprons, having young talent on cheap cost-controlled contracts becomes all the more important for clubs. So I think the era where you're seeing, Rudy Gobert got 5 firsts. So how many is Giannis worth? Well, that was under a different system, right? So I do think that looking at, say, a Giannis trade and saying, are you really going to get 9, 10 first-round pick, whatever it would really be, that's probably not realistic because we're not living in the same world that we were a few years ago.
Really good article by Tim Bontemps and Brian Windhorst on ESPN today. Don't yell at me if it's behind the paywall. I don't know. Here it is. And I mean, there are teams that are now like, hey, for a max superstar who's over the age of 30, who has had injury problems. And in the question here from Uniball says Giannis, but they also have included AD in the same kind of conversations. Teams are just saying, I don't know that we want to give everything for them. Because if you think about it, right, you're doing 2 things in that. You're giving up all your draft future. You're giving up probably players who can at least play to some extent. And then you are giving up any real cap flexibility you have. Or unless you're bringing the guy in and like like if you were Washington, and they're not going to trade for Giannis, but like they brought him in and hey, we have him and we still have 80 million in cap space. All right, well that would be a little bit different, but you're kind of locking yourselves in, and that's where I think teams are being very cautious about. Hey, I don't know that we can do this. I heard some say, well, everybody wants to be OKC. Well, it's not that, but what you want to have is you want to have enough kind of ammo that, all right, if we do get expensive and get really good, at least we have some draft picks to kind of backfill our talent as guys come through. Where as we lose a couple guys, maybe because of apron concerns or because of whatever it is, those guys walk away. Now we at least have something in the vault to go and replace them with. Whereas if we traded everything, especially if you trade picks and give swaps in the middle years, that's it. Now you're out. You've got nothing left.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where teams don't want to be. They don't want to be in a spot where they don't have that kind of flexibility to go do something. So as far as like the best part of the NBA is the trade window, we saw a Luka trade last year. We saw like I don't think this has prohibited trades from happening.
We're gonna get big stuff.
We're gonna get. And by the way, let's keep in mind, in the time of year where we're at right now, every buyer should say prices are too high, sellers are insane.
Yep.
Every seller should say offers are too low. We need 1 billion picks for all of our players, and they will gradually move more towards the middle as we get closer.
That's why I did this. Start here.
Exactly.
Start here. Everybody comes to the middle.
Exactly. What about DeMar DeRozan? I think he's an interesting contract with only $10 million guaranteed for next year.
Smallest contract of their big name guys too.
Mm-hmm. So, he can, the dude's going to be scoring the basketball 10 years from now, right? He's still going to have.
Have you seen how, have you looked at his numbers?
He's really good.
Super efficient this year.
Yeah.
He's actually hitting threes at a pretty good clip too.
Here, I'll pull it up.
Which is good. Yeah, I mean, he's played really well. I looked it up when I posted the article for Spot Track. Like because I was like, it feels like that's true, and then I was like, let me make sure I'm not saying something. And it's like he shoots 30%. But yeah, I mean, I want to say he was up around 50%. Yeah,
30. He's at 50. He's at 50% from the field, 38% from three.
Only 2 attempts per game, but
giving you 3 boards and 3.4 assists. I mean, defensive concerns, yes. Is he a major floor spacer? No. He tends to float out to the corners for his threes, which is fine. Teams target corner threes. But 36 years old, but only $10 million guaranteed for next year. I could see somebody taking a chance on DeRozan, and a team that needs scoring off the bench could say, you know what? Come playoff time, we may need 20 minutes from DeMar DeRozan and he gives us 13 points and that, or 14, 15 points, something like that. And that could make all the difference for us.
I mean, and look at the games played too. Plays just about every game, every year. And even those 2 in the middle there, the 68 and 61, those were the COVID years. So he didn't play as many games. But I mean, this guy just doesn't miss time. Like he's on the floor all the time, still playing 30 minutes per game. Like, yeah, I'm not going crazy for DeMar DeRozan, but yeah, if I was in a spot where it's like, man, I really need Zach LaVine, only because DeMar DeRozan makes half what Zach LaVine makes.
Yeah, I mean, I could see a team where, like, for example, because it's only $10 million, right? On the books for next year. So I could see a team say, we're going to give expirings for DeRozan plus some type of small, you're not going to go crazy. Hey, here's an unprotected first next year or something for DeRozan. You're not going to do that, but some type of minor asset plus expirings for DeRozan. And if we have to eat 10 million on the books next year, if it doesn't work out, we'll eat 10 million on the books. It's a very different scenario than, as you said, like Zach LaVine, where, hey, if it doesn't work out, oh man, we got to pay this guy, a fortune on the roster for next year. So there's a lot more flexibility with him. This one said, if I'm a contender, I'm trading for Rob Williams. Buy low on an efficient defensive backup big on an expiring contract. Keith, you've got more experience with the Time Lord than I do. I've been a fan of his game for a while, but this is, and you can tell me if you agree with this. My approach to him has been this: if you're going to trade for him, he cannot be your starter or your backup that you are depending upon. You need other guys on your team where you say, this is our starter, this is our backup. And then if he is available to play, That's the icing on the cake. Great, we can use Rob Williams, but you cannot be dependent upon him where your team falls to pieces because you don't have any other backup big on your roster if Rob Williams is hurt because of how frequently he is.
Yeah, the minute you lock into Rob Williams is the minute you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Just because he's gonna get hurt, he's gonna miss time. It's unfortunate because he's awesome when he plays.
He's so
he's
good.
Still good when he plays. It's just tough. I'm with you. Like I'm okay if you got him because you're like, all right, our idea is when he's available, he's a high-end backup big man, maybe even a spot starter at times for us. But yeah, you got to have a third center then that you feel comfortable putting in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm late, but I liked and subscribed. Thank you, everybody. If you please hit that like button and subscribe. Let's go Lakers. Let's go Leeds.
I only
United.
put it in there because of the Leeds.
Let's go Front Office Friday. What about Front Office Friday?
Front Office Friday is a guarantee. If you're here, that's why you're here.
There you go.
Let's go.
Are we going to ignore the elephant in the room that the Clippers are the 14th seed? LOL and Uver OKC and land the number 1 pick. Who do they get from the top 3? God, I mean, Keith, it has been more than acceptable for the Clippers to be.
Clippers aren't the 14th seed.
The Clippers could be. Well, they're the 14th seed in the West.
Oh, got it. I was like, there might be like the 4th.
No, in the West, right now.
Got it. That makes sense.
Sure. If the draft lottery were to be chalk and run right now, the Thunder would have the 3rd pick.
Yeah.
The Clippers, you've been more than welcome to suck any other year. What are you doing? You're ruining the league.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Jerks.
if I'm the Thunder, it's like let's just say they get the 3rd pick, give me whoever is left of Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, and AJ DeBonsa.
Yeah,
whoever's left, I'll take whatever one. I'm gonna happily take them and move about my incredible dynasty.
Yep.
They'd probably trade it for like 14 number 1 picks.
Yeah, that's probably what they'll do. Give me all the picks. Yeah. You guys help me a lot. I get panic attacks and anxiety attacks, and to relax, I listen to you guys. Thank you. Oh, well,
man. Appreciate
very, very glad that we can be helpful and soothing. Yep. See, Keith, our insane tangents into ancient video games, it helps people.
There's been a lot of Final Fantasy chat in the thing. It's maybe I should figure out how to stream myself playing Final Fantasy.
There you go. There you go. That our subscribers would go through the roof.
There it is.
It would the interest would skyrocket.
Oh, God, I hate it. This question.
What do you guys think about the 11 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Pacific time games on NBC Tuesdays? It's so strange when you're used to 7 or 7:30 starts on the West Coast.
I hate them. I absolutely. It's the worst thing the league has done. And I don't know how long. And that's like, I'm not even kidding. It's
is it worse than the shirt jerseys, the jerseys?
I don't know. Those gray ones.
Those were awful.
Bad too. Yeah, those are pretty awful. But those are gone.
So those are gone. At
least correct them. Yeah, I get why they did it. And why did they do it? It's because they wanted the West Coast to be truly in prime time. They wanted it to be 8 o'clock start on the West Coast. But that's just because I like to go to bed early. So I hate it so much.
So I go the opposite way. It drives me, like, I could not wait for the Lakers to get off their road trip. I'm like, get off the damn East Coast. Like, we're getting these games at 4 o'clock. This is insane. Like, it's way too, nobody's even home at that point. It's way too early for these. But that's just the reality of our country, the United States being as wide as it is, right?
Yep.
Sea to shining sea and all that. So, thank you very much, Manifest Destiny. But this is where me being a night owl helps out, but that it's even a little bit late for me to have, an 8 p.m. Start time on Tuesday. Even for me, I'm like, okay, this is getting kind of late.
I don't know if any have gone into overtime, but it's like, man, if it goes in overtime, you're talking a 2 o'clock end time and like gross. It's funny. I have no real desire to live in Hawaii, nor the means to do so. But like, just for the sports, man, I'd be all over it.
Oh, everything would be like middle of the day.
Yeah. Lunchtime with the NBA games starting. Like, yeah, I'm all in on that. I could work regular hours again.
I know you guys are huge Marvel fans. Do you follow any current comic storylines? Like the Ultimate Series from Marvel and DC's Absolute Universe. No, I don't.
Yeah, I don't have time. I got the Marvel Unlimited app
The app.
thing
Yep,
for
I did that
Christmas
too.
a year ago with every intention of like, I'm going to actually, like, I'll read these and I'll, do stuff. And then I think I read through like 4 issues of one like series and I was like, I just don't have time.
Yeah, I haven't had time for that. I will watch the movies and stuff like that, but haven't had time.
Yep.
All right. Question: Atlanta Hawks trade rumors.
Yeah, I mean they're active. Like they're at least poking around upgrades. I think for them they're in a fortunate place where they can wait a little bit. They're playing okay and see like all right, who becomes available because they don't want to make a move in the next few days and then find out hey AD's available and you could have had him or Giannis you could have got in on him and it's like oh man we traded for somebody a little deeper down the line or something like that. The good news is for the Hawks too is there's no like glaring need must get this on the roster because they've got pretty good depth with their team. They've had to become a couple different teams in the first third or so of the season because of the injury to Trae Young. But yeah, I think they're going to be active. I don't think they're going to sit it out.
Keith, I believe you said last week you're going to go to some college games. Did you see AJ DeBonsa?
I did on Thanksgiving. I saw him. Yeah, I ended up only going to the one game in person. I watched the other one on TV, but he's impressive. I've seen him now 3 different times play in person. He's everything you want in a modern wing. He's big, he's quick, he's got pretty good handles. He's a very unselfish player as far as seeing passes. He has all the shots you want him to get to. For me, it's still very wide open who the number 1 pick is. And I mean, it should be, right? We're only in the middle of December. College season's only a month or so old, but AJ DeBonsa, Cam Boozer, Darren Peters. I'm excited. We still have several more months for this to shake out because I'm by no means there, but DeBonsa's good. He's going to be really good. All 3 of those guys are going to be excellent.
All right. Why would the Bulls trade White for picks when they might rock the East with an AD trade? Well, there was, I want to say it was from Amic's piece. It's either Amick or Stein's, but that kind of poured a little bit of cold water on the Bulls being a landing spot.
It was Stein, yeah, because it was in the same place where he said they're getting interest in Coby White.
Yeah. It said, I think Coby is awesome. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that Anthony, besides being from Chicago, I don't know that AD makes a lot of sense for the Bulls. Now, moving on from Coby White is challenging because he needs a new contract. So if you're a team trading for him, then he's a flight risk, right? You could lose him for nothing in the summer. And so you got to be careful with that. And that can depress his value in and of itself. So that's going to be a little bit of a tricky situation. If the Bulls look at Coby White though and say, yeah, we don't want to be the team to pay him on his next contract. And I'm not saying they should or shouldn't, but if that's their read of the situation, then maybe they do look to trade him. As far as an AD trade, the Mavs are suddenly in the play-in right now in the West. I could see them just saying, Kyrie's back next month. Let's just see what's what when Kyrie comes back and then go from there.
Yeah, I think with Coby White too, no, the Bulls can't extend him. No team getting him. I mean, they won't extend him because it's just too low. His contract is too low to extend him on. So in the Bulls just paid Josh Giddey, is a guard. Coby White's a guard. There's Ayo Dosunmu, who's also a free agent, another guard. Something's going to give. I don't think you're going to have all 3 of those guys, at least not for very long. So something's going to give there. And I would prioritize Coby White personally. I think Coby White is really, really out of him and Ayo Dosunmu, that is, because Giddey's already signed. I just think Coby White's really, really good. But yeah, I mean, if the Bulls are like, we're probably not going to pay him, then I kind of get where they may go with that.
All right. What kind of offer will be fair for Ivica Zubac, 18 and 12 guy on 65% field goal, elite defense, making 10% of the cap next 3 seasons? This feels like a Denny Avdia situation for insane value. Yeah, I could see, a couple firsts, something like that for Big Zoo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, Denny Avdia, I got to wonder if the Wizards have a little bit of regrets on that trade that they did because they had him on this current contract and he's really good. He would have been fine there, even though they're, still in this full rebuild. I don't think they're super regretful about it, but I got to wonder a little bit. But yeah, I mean, Zubac is really good. Like you plug him right in, right as your starting center, and just all right, that position's covered now for the next 3 seasons. Because again, plays every game, really, really good rebounder, good rim protector. So.
All right, let's go here. MJ said, to be honest, OKC looks unstoppable for the next 5 years, looking to be an all-time great team. Do you think the Luka era Lakers have any chance to win a championship? Yeah, I mean,
sure.
Look, the Thunder look great, but nothing lasts forever, and things change happen a lot from season to season in the NBA. You never know how things are going to go. So, it's funny. I'm seeing so many fans around the NBA will say, "Oh, my team can make this trade, but that's not going to beat the Thunder." Or hey, we won this game, but we're not good enough to beat the Thunder, so who cares?
Yep.
Right now, 29 teams can look and say, but we're not good enough to beat the Thunder. So what do? Just throw their hands up and go, oh, well, you know what? That's it then. League's over. We'll call you in 5 years and let us know. Let us know whenever the Thunder start getting old, and then we can start, restart trying again. No, you don't just pack it up and leave. Like, you never know what's going to happen in the NBA. Things change stylistically. The way the game's played changes, rules change, teams change. There's constant change in sports. It's the way that it goes. So you never say never in a situation. As good as the Thunder look right now, and they do look inevitable right now. But then again, so was Thanos, and we all know how that ended. So you never know.
Well done. I think I like my chances going into a series with Luka against just about anybody. Yes, I would pick the Thunder. But sure, Luka can win a couple games by himself. Then you have the shooting variance game. And now you're in a game 7 where anything can happen. As great as OKC looks, and they're better this year than they were a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Denver took them to 7 and Indiana took them to 7. So they're really good. I mean, it's weird because I don't want to be like, well, pack it up. We'll see y'all in next October. But it is like they are really good. Like it's I want to give them credit where credit is due because, I mean, it's looking, ridiculous. We're going to have to, another week or two here, we're going to start to have some conversations about the Lakers 33 game record win streak because
Are you at a point where, because I think both you and I agreed going into the season that if we had to pick a single team that was going to win the championship this year, we were picking the Thunder. But if we got to pick the Thunder or the Field, we would take the Field. Are you ready to come on? Like, would you take the Thunder over the Field? Thunder.
Yeah, give me
that's where I'm at too.
Yeah, I'm not. I would. And we're gonna get to the point with them, kind of where we got with the Warriors now. KD going there kind of helped, and Draymond being a controversial guy, thing there. I think with the Thunder, there will be if they will rampage through the league and win the title again, we're gonna have a lot of people who are kind of going to the place of like, all right, forget these guys. Like we're kind of out on them, and then it becomes either rooting for them, you're rooting against them.
We've got a bunch of questions still in the queue that we need to get to.
Yeah, we do.
We're gonna have to go rapid fire.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Hopefully we hear more.
I can stay a little late today too. If I don't know what you got going on, but I can.
Yeah, I've got radio in 15 minutes.
Okay. All right. Well, let's zip.
We'll go. Hopefully we hear more about expansion sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Things have really cooled off on that. It's not dead. Things are still moving. They're still looking at it, but they're focused on the Europe League.
And and we're in season right now too.
Yep.
OKC is going to run into the CBA eventually, like everyone does. Well, unless they continue to get young talent on cheap cost control contracts.
Yeah. They will to an extent, but not be. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. You can just look up Keith Smith Thunder Spot Track. It'll probably pop right up if you Google it. I wrote extensively about this only 2 weeks ago. It was Thanksgiving week. It came out.
What team is going to be the first teardown team? If they could find the right moves, I think Sacramento would do it.
Yeah, Clippers maybe.
Clippers, another good pick.
Stink. Yeah, one of those two.
Taylor Hendricks, dude is huge, but I don't know if he can trust his leg again.
He seems to be okay with that. I think he's just struggling with the Jazz have a lot of full. They have a lot of guys his size that play a lot, and they play those big lineups and everything else. So yeah, I think it's I mean, he's good, but it's just, yeah. I mean, there's just a lot of players there in Utah.
Will we see any star for star trade? You mean like Luka for AD?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
Giannis for Towns, I guess. Like,
yeah, Giannis for
you know.
Towns, like that could be something. When we look at, I know the Grizzlies are working on things with Ja, but like Ja, Trae Young, LaMelo Ball, these guys have all been kind of out there as like, does Zach LaVine qualify as some, because the Kings may move on from him. Depends on where you draw the line on star, I suppose. But
yeah, just we're kind of Thunder related. When is Presti's contract up? It's like one of the true secrets in the league. Just assume never. I think he's very happy where he is. I think he's gonna what is it? Retire under a tree of your own making, or what, I don't remember. Whatever George Washington said.
Let's go here. Clippers need to do the Lakers a solid and trade some players for that idiotic Zubac trade back then. That was an absolutely brutal trade. But the Clippers aren't going to do anything to it. That's the only reason why the Clippers would even trade the Lakers, is because they were like, wait, what? Really?
What? Yeah. Call it in.
Call it in. Yeah, we'll do that
right now. Yeah. Hey, we need an emergency trade call scheduled immediately.
Right. Yeah. It was basically that's the only way. If the Clippers have to fleece the Lakers, otherwise they're going to say no. They will not make a trade with the Lakers otherwise. Hi, Lakeith and Latrev. If I just want to ask, who do you think will win the Eastern Conference this year? More power to you guys.
The Knicks. I picked the Knicks preseason. I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah, I think I went with the Cavs, and I'm sliding more towards the Knicks. I don't know. The Pistons could hang on though; they could do it.
Yep.
Anyone going to sign Emoni Bates?
Yeah, I pulled this, and I looked to be sure because he hasn't stood out when I've been watching the G League games. He's just been kind of okay. Like, it's like, I don't think so. Like, it's sad, man. This kid was supposed to be everything that some of these other guys are, and it just didn't come together.
Should the Celtics be a buyer on the market now that they're third in the East?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, within reason. And I think what they can do, because they have Anthony Simons, who's not playing a huge role, has a big contract. I think they can actually thread a very difficult needle, which is improve the team while also potentially saving some money, just because his contract is so large. And then there's a lot of things with Sam Hauser, where people are like, let's, we're kind of ready to go on him. I don't know if you saw yesterday. I mean, he had like just he was 0 for 11 and 0 for 9 from 3. Just could not get anything to fall. And that's a homecoming game for him. He's from the Milwaukee area. So that was really tough, but that's $37 million in money that could get moved there. And I was going to bring this up. So this will be kind of the lead into this. I don't know if you watch the videos of Jason Tatum. But he's playing one-on-one against one of the coaches. If you just told me, like, without anything, you'd be like, is this guy ready to play? I'd be like, yeah, he looks like it. Like, I don't, he's not going necessarily 100%.
Yeah, it's very different in a controlled environment too,
absolutely.
where you know what your motions are going to be versus, oh no, that guy just cut and I've got to stop real quick and go, right? So that takes a while to get to that point. But yeah, he looks great.
He's going to play this year. I am very convinced we're going to see him on the court. And I don't know that it's going to be, when I say this, I don't want people to be like, Jason Tatum next week. Like, no, that's not going to be a thing. But I don't think it's going to be like a cameo appearance at the end of March or beginning of April. Like, I think it's going to be before then.
This one said, Lakers needed to learn to not take their fines for granted. Caruso, Monk, Pippen Jr., Goodwin, now Nick Smith Jr. Imagine all the chances to get second-round pick minimum. I
mean, let's not go crazy with Nick Smith Jr., but
no, and he's been fine in certain situations.
Yeah, but the other guys, they've all been pretty good.
There's some important context. Like, Goodwin was the only path to sign Marcus Smart. Monk wanted to stay. He didn't want to leave. The Lakers didn't want to lose him, but the Kings could offer double what the Lakers could by league rules.
Even more than double.
Offer. I think it was actually a little more because it was starting around 14 or so. So, Monk was not one where they lost him by choice. Caruso is indefensible. It was indefensible the moment they did it. It's always been indefensible. Pippen Jr. Darvin didn't like small guards, and Pippen Jr. thought he had a better opportunity to actually see minutes in Memphis, and it worked out for him. So some of those are fair. Some of those, there's important context that's missing there.
Oh, and I think they learned the lesson with Austin Reeves at least a little bit, right? You didn't mess around there.
If you're OKC, do you consider Zubac's 2030, 2031 swap 2032 in exchange for salary clip filler and the Clippers 2026 and 2027 pick back to them? No, they're gonna.
No.
I think they would keep that pick.
Yeah, I would rather have the pick because you have Hartenstein.
Yeah.
And Holmgren. Like, I mean, that's talk about like the rich getting richer, right? Like, what the hell do they need Zubac for? Like that would make me actively angry. Like, I'd be like literally pissed. I'd be like, why? What are we doing here? Like, we're just gonna give them all-star level guys at every position?
Yeah.
Come on, stop.
Exactly.
And I get it. The Clippers get their picks back, and you're kind of kicking the can down the line. But I don't know. Clippers could be really good, and like,
if I'm the Clippers, though, and I could turn Zubac into the
on their side,
pick, I would do it. Yeah.
Give me my pick back and let me start all over again.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Is Kevin Love stuck in Utah this season, or will he move? That's an interesting one.
Yeah, he didn't agitate for a buyout. They said they didn't want to buy him out. This will be one. Let's see what happens after the trade deadline. If he's still on the Jazz, then it probably becomes a, hey, does anybody want me to come in and be a bench big for the last couple months of a potential title run? Like, that'd be, good for Kevin Love. The difference for Kevin Love too is Kevin Love has won a title, so I don't know that he's feels super needy to like go chase a ring. If he had never won one, then maybe he really wants to go. But I think he's okay.
All right. If the Miami Heat don't have to pay Terry Rozier for these missed games, isn't his contract lucrative for teams looking to save money?
Yeah. So let's correct. So they are still paying him.
Yeah.
The money is just going into an escrow account. It's not going to Terry Rozier. The Heat are not saving any money here. Now, if it turns out that the contract gets voided because Rozier gets banned or something like that, then the money would presumably default back to the Heat and we would go from there. But that money's going into an escrow account. So Miami is not saving any money, nor would anybody who acquires Terry Rozier unless he actually comes off the books.
All right, let's go here. Oh, man, I don't know who this is, so I've watched zero college basketball so far.
I don't know if you say Twande or Tonde. Yasufu from Baylor. I've heard it pronounced both ways, the first name. It's funny because people are like, he's this year's VJ Edgecombe because he's like an athletic guard whose shooting is kind of wax and wane. He's pretty good. I'm not super high on him because I don't think the defense has been what people made it out to be coming in. But I mean, he's a good player. He'll be a lottery pick for sure.
All right, let's go here. Miami gets Giannis and Thanasis and Maxey. The Lakers get Wiggins and the Bucks get Hero and Gabe Vincent.
I think that's obviously too light for the Bucks. Like, who's giving the picks there?
Right. Yeah, there's got to be draft capital added. Significant draft capital added in there. And if I'm the Bucks,
you need them from both sides. You need it from the Lakers because they're upgrading to Wiggins, and then you need it from the Heat because you're.
And if I'm the Bucks, like, am I trading with Miami and not getting Kello Ware? Am I trading with Miami and not getting Jaime Jaquez? Am I? You know what I mean? Like, those things I think would be important.
Yep. Agreed.
Who's your favorite 2026 draft pick outside the top three?
Nate Ament, but that's kind of cheating because he's the fourth guy on boards right now. Yeah, I mean, that's where I would go right now. Come back to me in like another month. We'll do more draft stuff after like Christmas.
Will Peyton Watson become a cap casualty for the Nuggets?
This is where Trevor's like, stop flagging questions.
Stop. We gotta go, man.
Maybe like that's close.
That could happen.
I think there's a chance because something's gonna have to give there because I don't think they're gonna push like past the second apron. And Peyton Watson's played pretty well, so yeah. So I think there's a chance that could be the way it goes.
All right.
I won't flag anymore. Look, hands are off.
We got some good questions though.
We did. Considering the way things started, I was like,
we started talking about Final Fantasy and the Game Shark and things like that. We got some really good ones. So we appreciate you all so much.
We got one more.
We're making up names now, Keith.
No, we're not. He's a draft prospect. He's okay. Arizona's issue, like, it seems like every year they just have a lot of guys. So, we'll see with that. Yeah. Well, come back. Save your draft questions. We'll come back to it. I'm also going to try to get some draft people on, maybe some of our friends from No Ceilings and stuff.
I need a chance to actually. I have done zero work on the upcoming draft right now because I've been buried in the current league right now. Yeah. So I need a chance to actually look at some of this stuff. Oh,
drunk stream next week.
We should do that. What day is Christmas? Is there like do we have a front office Friday on New
Christmas?
Year's Eve?
No, Christmas is a Thursday.
It's a Thursday.
It's
so we'll have front office Boxing Day then.
Yeah, we will. Yep. Yeah, we'll be able to talk to Christmas games, but probably no front office drunk stream. I don't think you're gonna get that. All right. Somebody did ask, what's the live schedule? Fridays, like every Friday.
Yeah, every Friday.
Sometime around now, usually sometime in the early afternoon. But yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you,
guys.
We appreciate all of you. Till next time. See ya, and stay safe.